because I was putting up a website so that way I'd be able to show you guys that. And all of a sudden, as I clicked it, the countdown video went away, and I don't know where it went. So let's just get to me here. Hey everybody, how are you? Happy Monday, brand new week getting started here, and we've got some excitement going on over here at Yarnspirations. We just got the okay to talk about a brand new product, a revolutionary way of getting the yarn to you. And I mean, I couldn't wait. As soon as they gave us the okay, us being the ambassadors for Yarnspirations, to come out and talk about this before the scheduled release date of Friday, we are jumping on and we're letting you guys know what this is all about. So let me go ahead. Let me move what I was going to put over here because I was putting up the Joann's website, so we better look at it later on. But let's say hello to everybody here. Hi, Marla and Karen and Renee and Julia, Vicky, Terry, Sarah, Christina, Carlene, Debbie, Janan, I think, and Joanne, and Halloween Mischief, Alicia, Ginger, Nancy, Jamelia, and Claudia. So many of you are here to say hello. Hi, I'm so happy you are here, and I'm excited to talk about a brand new way to get yarn. Are you guys ready? We're not talking about a brand new yarn. It's the same yarn that we've been using. It's a brand new way to get your yarn. Two different things there. You guys ready? We're going to talk about the Yarnspirations O'Go. Now, O'Go is a brand new format, a brand new way to get your yarn that is tangle free and knot free. It is also a way for you to get a bunch of different colors in a donut or a ring like this, and you can separate those colors and use them for color work. This new format is in the Bernat blanket that I just showed you. It's also done in our Red Heart Super Saver. It's also done in the Caron Big Donut. And last but not least, I have one more and I don't know where it went. I have a whole bunch here. And here's this one. It's called Caron Colorama. So we have 4 different yarns that are being presented in this new format. Now, here's the deal. Is this a brand new yarn? No. These are some of our most popular yarns that we're bringing to you in such a way that is taking out any of that yarn barf problem that we've had. We asked a bunch of knitters and crocheters out there, like, what is one of your number one frustrations when it comes to knitting and crochet? And bar none, everybody talked about yarn barf, not being able to get the yarn out of the skein without getting a whole bunch of clump out, or getting a knot in the yarn, or getting your yarn tangled. And overwhelmingly, people said, hey, if I could get a yarn that would guarantee that that would not happen, I absolutely would buy that yarn to save time, to save money, to save frustration, to save energy, all of that stuff, you know? So Yarnspirations design team, the people that are behind the scenes, putting together all of the different things for you, the consumer, they're trying to give you what you're asking for. And this is what they've done. They have put together a yarn that is in such a way that it's put together in such a way that it does not tangle. It is not going to have knots. The colors are able to be pulled apart. So it may look like it's a variegated, but it's not a variegated. If you just worked it from one end to the other, it could be self-striping, which is a popular way to go about this. It's revolutionary. I don't know how else to say it, you guys. It's one of those things that you're just like, what is that? Like, you see it on the shelves, right? It sits on the shelves just like this. And you're like, what is this? What's going on? And you might be just like me. You might look at this and think, all right, like, is there like a foam core in the middle of this? Like, what's the big deal about this? Because that's what I thought. I was like, is there a foam core in the middle of this? And the answer is no. This is all yarn. Like, this is one big thing of yarn. And this is how I sort of thought about it, okay? I thought about it, if you took a skein of yarn and sort of stretched it out so that it was more like a snake, I guess, and then had it wrapped up in that way, that's kind of what this is. So this is all yarn. There's nothing inside of it other than a longer piece of plastic, like you would find for tags of clothes, like at a store, to put like a price tag on it. So there's like this piece of plastic there that you snip it, you pull that plastic out, you find the end of your yarn on the outside. That's a key thing. You want to pull this from the outside. It's designed to have the yarn pulled from the outside. Can you pull it from the inside? Yes, but it's designed to be pulled from the outside. And once you do that, it just flows. Like you could just stand there and just hold the yarn and somebody just pull, and it just goes like this, and it just doesn't flop around your table. It doesn't scoot around. It doesn't mess up. It's just set it there and you go and flow, right? You just go with it. And it's really great, in my opinion, for a lot of beginners. This is what I've kind of put together with this as I've worked with it here and there. As beginners, you guys, you struggle with how to hold your needles or how to hold your hook and how to hold the yarn. But it feels like by the time you get all that in your hands and everything's set, all of a sudden you have a knot in your yarn, or all of a sudden you have to let go to pull on your yarn, to tug on your yarn, or to get a little feed left or anything like that. This is really great for that because you don't have that problem. The other day, I was actually on a conference call and I snipped open an O'Go. Okay, I snipped open an O'Go. I started pulling from the outside, just like this. And in the time of the conference, it was just about like 20 minutes, I just was knitting. And never once did I have to stop and put my knitting down to tug on my yarn to give myself more yarn. It just naturally was flowing and I was just knitting along. And it's really nice to be able to do that. So as people were saying, hey, if I could get a yarn that was tangle free, easy to use, I could just pull on the yarn and it would just flow and just go so great. We've answered your request. We've made the O'Go to hit that home. Pretty cool, right? All right, so I want to hear what you guys are thinking because I want to answer some questions and talk a little bit about like the amount of yarn that's in each one, because you're not going to believe it. It's really great. And I see a lot of you like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. That's interesting. Lisa says that she got one yesterday. They are available right now at Joann. I think Walmart is getting them too. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty certain Walmart's going to get them too. Sandy says, I need to quit my job so I can knit more. I understand that. Donna says, interesting. That's like, Donna, I said the same thing. The first time I saw it, I was like, all right, well, that's interesting. Like it's interesting. And I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. At first I was like, well, do I really need something like this? Is it really something necessary? And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't mind yarn barf. Yarn barf to me is like, hey, it's all right. It's just yarn I get to use. It just comes out in a big clump. No big deal. But I understand the benefit of this. I understand as this is a new format, a new way to bring out yarn. Because you think about it, yarn, like we have hanks of yarn, we have skeins of yarn, we have balls of yarn, we have cones of yarn, we have cakes of yarn. Now we have the O'Go. Like there's just another way of yarn. And each way has its own benefit, right? It's not that one is necessarily 100% better than another. It's that this is a new way. It's a new way, a new format, a new revolutionary tangle-free quick start. I mean, it's just interesting. So like once you kind of get past this whole sort of, well, what is that? That's interesting. And kind of really kind of dig in like, all right, I get it. It's another way to get yarn. It's another way to make sure that any sort of hassle, any sort of frustration, any sort of, oh my gosh, like just another thing in your day, it's just taken away. You get to literally just sit back, relax with your hook in your yarn or your needles in your yarn and stitch away without having to worry about anything. And I find that very valuable in the whole scheme of it all, right? Halloween Mischief is saying, fun, what is the price point? That's a very good question. And it's actually one that I can't answer. I know that they are different. I'm looking at the Joann website right now. Here, I'll share the website with you guys so that way you guys can see. Let me see here. All right, can you see that? Is that large enough for you to be able to see? So the Joann website has it listed right now. The O'Go Colorama, so this one right here, is listed for $8.99. Now this is $8.99, and this is 6.4 ounces. So 6.4 ounces. And just for reference, so 6.4 ounces, this is a worsted weight yarn. Oh no, this is a bulky weight yarn. It's a size 5 weight yarn. Let's see here. So this is a Caron cotton cake, which is a 4 weight yarn. And this one has 8.8 ounces. Now, having said that, the Caron Big Donut, so this one, which isn't listed on Joann, but this Big Donut one, this one has 9.9 ounces in it. So 9.9 ounces to kind of give you an idea of what is the price. But then over there, you'll see also, oh, look, it's the same color. Is it the same color? No, it's not. So the Bernat blanket is listed as $11.99 on the website. And this has 10.5 ounces, which is exactly how much yarn is in. Where did it go? Oh, it's all the way over there. That's exactly how much yarn is in a ball or a skein of Bernat blanket. So this is an entire skein of Bernat blanket. Like it's just in a different format. This is the entire big thing of Bernat blanket, just in the O'Go format. Okay. And then also, I know it's not listed there on Joanne, but the Super Saver one, if you ever have bought the Super Saver stripes or variegated or anything along those lines, those are the same amount of yardage as this, which is 5 ounces. So a regular skein of Super Saver, and I had this pulled up too so that I could confirm this if I can get my cursor over here. So a solid ball of Super Saver is 7 ounces. A ball of prints or variegateds or stripes of Super Saver is 5 ounces. So this is the same amount of yarn you would get in a variegated, a stripes, or a what was the other one I said? Whatever it was, like that's the exact same amount of yarn you would get for this. So when it comes to the amount of yarn you're getting the same amount of yarn. It's just a different way to get the yarn. Is it a little bit more expensive? It might be. I honestly don't know. Each store gets to put their own price on things. And I mean, you guys, come on, let's be honest. We know we're going to use a coupon. So use a coupon whenever you can, because I use the coupons. I know you guys do too. So that is one of the good things about this, is that you can really think about, okay, so Yarnspirations isn't going to like not give us the amount of yarn we need. They're giving us the same amount of yarn, and it's a different format. It's a different way to get that yarn. Carlene says, what is this sorcery? I totally get that. Denise says, will this be available in the UK? I can't answer that question. I don't know. I'm so sorry. Let's see here. Sandra says, I prefer it in the cake, which is great. You know what? That's the beauty of this, you guys. Do you have to use an O'Go? Absolutely not. You could absolutely get a cake. Some people don't like cakes, they prefer skeins. Some people don't like skeins, they prefer balls. Some people don't like balls, they prefer hanks. That's the beauty of this, is that it's just another option, another availability for you out there. This is something that is answering what you guys were asking for. You were asking for Tagle Free. You were asking for quick start. You were asking for beautiful colors. You were asking for a nice acrylic yarn. That's what we have put together for you here. So I don't agree with this whole idea of it's too gimmicky. I don't think it's a gimmick at all. It's just another way to present yarn. As far as gimmicky, I mean, you could have called like a yarn cake gimmicky, but it's not gimmicky. Like, it's just another way to present yarn. So I absolutely disagree with the whole idea that this is gimmicky. There's no gimmick to it. It's yarn. It's just given to you in such a way that it is completely useful, and it's hitting all the marks that people have asked for. Vicky says, this is awesome. And Carlene says, Gandalf met yarn and poof, O'Go. What weight is it available in? So I can answer that. So right here. So the O'Go Big Donut is a worsted weight yarn. Okay. So it's a worsted weight yarn. The Caron Colorama, I've used this one quite a bit, and this one is a bulky weight yarn. Super Saver is a worsted weight yarn. And of course, the Bernat blanket is a size 6. What do they call that? Super bulky? Yeah, a super bulky. So you have all those different weights that are coming out. Yeah, it's wound up really interesting. It's a really interesting way to do this. Now, one of the things that I asked about, and some of the other ambassadors asked about, were like, how do you store this? Like, we all have yarn stashes, right? We want to know, how do we store these? So you'll notice that there is packaging, right? There's packaging so it can stand up on its own. But if you wanted to lay these down flat, you could lay these flat on themselves, and you could store them just like so. As they're opened up, you can see it doesn't, like, look, it's not coming undone, y'all. It's really great. You can lay these flat out just like so and put them in a plastic tubing if you want to. You can keep them wrapped up like this. You could put them in a project bag. You could do just about anything you want. I love those little like yarn keepers, you know, that they look like, my friend Lindsay from Erin Lane Bags makes them, and they are called Hank Spanks. So it's like pantyhose for your yarn, and that's a way you could put it on there to make sure nothing's coming undone. But there's different ways you can store these in your stash. You just have to be creative. I mean, come on. We are usually creative with how we stash things, whether we put them in cubbies or plastic bins or underneath our bed, or we shove it into our pillow cushion so that nobody knows how much yarn we have, right? So there's a lot of different ways for you to be able to store these for sure. Let's see here. I'm trying to get all the questions. What if you want a solid color instead of a color mixture? Brat's mom is asking that. That's a very good question. There are actually solids in this yarn as well. There is, I can't spill the beans too much, but obviously we have the Joanne Stitch Along and Knit Along coming up soon, and chances are we will be using some O'Go, and there are some solid colors available out there for us to use as well. So if you don't want a multicolored wheel or donut or ring, or I'm not sure exactly what they've decided to call it, but you can get a solid one. There are solid ones available as well. So that is totally possible. Let's see here. I need more purples in my life. Ralphia says, I would like to try this. Let's see here. I like it. If you pull from the outside and the snake doesn't collapse in on itself, will stand in your project bag, or you can corral it in empty water bottle. Ooh, that's a good idea. If you wanted to. Bite Angel XI. I'm not sure if it's Psi or 11 or what, but yeah, you could do that. Actually, so for me, I just had put this in my project bag just like so, and I was knitting along with it. You guys see that? I have another one that I wanted to see what it would look like if I pulled from the inside. So let me move these out of the way real quick. And you know what? While I'm speaking here, like here's a solid one right here, Caron color, and this is just like all black. I think this is called like, yeah, biker jacket. This is called biker jacket. So there is one that comes in solid, but I wanted to see what it would look like if I pulled from the inside. So this one here, I was crocheting a scarf here, and over here is where if I pulled it from the outside, this is where I would pull it from the outside, is over here, right? It just comes, you get my eyes out of the frame. So it comes and it just pulls. Over here, I pulled from the inside, and it does pull from the inside, and the outside gets a little bit messy, but it's not going crazy. It's not like it's flowing all over the place, but I can easily just pull it from the inside just like so, and it keeps going. So you can pull from the inside. It is totally usable to do that. But I have been told from the design team, it was designed to be pulled from the outside. So that way it just naturally just flows off of the O'Go from the outside. But you can see if you don't change colors, if you don't take your O'Go apart to change the colors, it naturally just transitions from one color to the next, very much like stripes or color blocks. So it's really convenient in that. You know, I was telling some of the different reporters and stuff that have been asking about O'Go. They were just like, what are some of the benefits of working with O'Go? And here are the things that I thought about, because I really did take the time to kind of think through things, because, you know, over the last 2 years, really, the world has been in a different place, right? And there are so many people who have come to knitting and crochet to find a relaxing place in the world. And this, to me, is just another way for us to have one more decision-making skill or decision-making item taken off of our plate. It is one more chance for us to not be frustrated about something. It is one more chance for us to play with some nice yarn, some great colors put together. We can just grab our needles, grab our hook, grab our yarn, and just start stitching and just go. We could pick a stitch pattern that we love. We could do a moss stitch. We could do a ribbing. We could do a brioche. We could do just about anything out there, a slip stitch. We could do anything and just work and work and work and work and never have to change colors, never have to worry about pulling out a knot in the yarn or finding a knot in your yarn or any of that stuff. It just makes things just a little bit easier. So sometimes in a world where it just feels like there's so much coming at us, stress and you just want to sit back and relax, this is one of those good opportunities to do that. Now, is O'Go the only way to do that? Absolutely not. Like we talked about earlier, like if you wanted to get a cake, like I mean, I love these things. I love these things. You could get a cake and you could pull from the center. Very rarely do I get yarn barf when I pull out from the center of a cake, but you could do the same thing. Just stitch and just keep going. That's the beauty of the wonderful yarns from Yarnspirations. The design team themselves put together really great color collaborations. And so the colors they put together work and meld together, and they just make you feel so good as you're working with them. And when you even pair it up with a simple stitch pattern, you get something stunning in the end, right? So like I said, this is just another way for us to get our yarn, to make us happy so that we don't get knots, so that we don't get yarn barf, so that we don't have all these frustrations that a lot of us have said in the world. Like, I don't know how many Facebook groups I'm a part of that people are like, oh my gosh, I got this yarn barf. Don't you hate when this happens? The whole center of my skein came out. Well, yeah, I get it. Like, I get it. It's the nature of the beast. Well, this is taming the beast, I guess. You know what I mean? It's a chance to do that. Let's see here. Betsy, hello, Betsy. How are you doing? Let's see. Bohan, I think it says my Joanne is selling it for $8.99. That's what it's listed online too. And you guys all know that there are coupons at Joann's you absolutely can use. Maureen says, looks interesting. Can't wait to try O'Go. Thanks for all the good information and ideas. You're more than welcome. You know what? I am an ambassador for Yarnspirations. I mean, you guys all know that. We've talked about that before. But more than that, I am a knitter. I am a crocheter. I am here just like all of you. And so when there's something new on the market, I want to see what it's all about. I want to know what it's all about. I want to hear from another knitter, another crocheter, what they think. And the bonus here, guys, is that I have the inside track, right? Like I have firsthand knowledge from the people who actually made the product. So I'm able to tell you, hey, you're supposed to pull it from the outside. Can you pull it from the inside? Yeah. But ideally, you're supposed to pull it from the outside. Is this supposed to replace all your yarn? No, not at all. It's just another option for you to get your yarn so that it is tangle free, so that it is knot free, so that you don't have those frustrations, so that you can grab your yarn and go. They call it O'Go and get going. Like, I just like that is so adorable. I just thought it was really cute. And Ralphia says, finding no knots makes me very happy. You're not the only one. That was one of the overwhelming responses we heard as we asked people about it. Sardetta says, coming in late, please show us again. Sounds so interesting. So once again, let me pull them up. So this is the Bernat blanket one. And once again, this is the same amount of yarn that is in a ball of Bernat blanket. It's the same amount of yardage, okay? The same amount of yardage. And you can take apart all of these colors, like they break apart and you just snip the two colors. And you have this section is then its own little piece of yarn. You don't have to rewind it or anything. You can just pull from there. I find it easier to pull from the inside when I'm doing it that way, but that's my own preference. But you can separate these colors so that way you can easily have color work. So you have the Bernat blanket. This one here, this is the Caron Colorama this is the Caron Big Donut. I apologize. I said Caron Colorama. This is Caron Big Donut. This is the Red Heart Super Saver. So this is the same amount of yarn that you would get in a variegated or striped skein of Red Heart Super Saver. And then this one is the Caron Colorama. So it's like 5 really great colors. Look at those colors. Those are great colors. And you can make some really fun, interesting things. And as I mentioned before, the Caron Colorama, it also has some solids available. So I have the black here. Don't know if I have any other solids. I have a huge box of yarn over here, guys, to show you, to do video tutorials and such. I don't think I have any of the other solids over here right now. Maybe this one? Yeah, here's a gray also of a solid. So I know it has some solids, but that's what this is. This is the O'Go. This is the O'Go. Now, I made a video that I am actually going to make live here on the YouTube channel tomorrow, but I thought I would show you guys here so that way I could answer any questions if we have them. So if you guys are good with that, I'm going to pull that up instead of the Joanne bit. Let me see if I can get it up here real quick so that way you guys can see this video. And this is the same one you will see tomorrow here on the Marley Bird YouTube channel. Maybe if I can find it here. Don't you hate that when you just can't find what you're looking for? Let me see. There it is. Let me pop this up and I'm gonna put this over here. And before I get busy with that one, I am gonna check your questions real quick. Okay. I have never had a pro with yarn. I have never had a pro with yarn barfs. You know what? I get yarn barf and it's just, it happens. And so it has never really bothered me too much. But I'm also one of those people that knots in my yarn doesn't bother me too much because I'm just like, it's fine. It happens. Like it is what it is. But there are some people, they just don't like it. Let's see here. Only Me says, I don't want to be negative, but it's not very space saving. You know what? You're right. It's not very space saving. It's not one of those things. Look, we're going to save a whole bunch of space for you. That's not the reason for it though. Right. So, I mean, we can see that, and that it's not like it's super space saving, but it's definitely one of those things that as you're using it, if that's your frustration is the tangles and the knots and just the worry free and the quick start and stuff, then this is going to tick all those boxes. Now, having said that, if you were to take them out of their packaging and lay them out flat and just straight down like they're snakes in the bottom of a plastic bin, then it is pretty space saving. It doesn't take that much room at all. So I agree with you. I agree with you there. I agree with you. Let's see here. So Only Me is asking, why can't they add a sticker to the center so you know where the pull? So here's the deal, Only Me, when you are working with a skein of yarn, if you've ever watched a video of how skeins of yarn are made at the mill, it's actually not that easy to add a sticker to the center to know where to pull, because the inside of the skein is not made in such a way that it's just like wrapped around a cone just very easily. It's wrapped in a sort of like figure eight sort of way. So when you pull it out, it is going to pull out a little bit of yarn barf before it gets to the point that it does flow very easily from the inside. So even just a little tab at the center, it's not as easy as it sounds. So as I said before, guys, I don't agree that this is a gimmick at all. I feel like it is another way to present yarn. There is nothing gimmicky about this. It's just another way to get the yarn to you. So I disagree with it being a gimmick at all. Yardage. John F is saying, what is the yardage? We went over the yardage a little bit earlier, but the yardage in the Caron Colorama is 6.4 ounces. The Caron Big Donut is 9.9 ounces. And the Bernat blanket is 10.5 ounces, and the Super Saver is 5 ounces. 5 ounces. Jody says, I don't need any more incentive to buy yarn. I totally understand. Let's see you. Question from our household. Are they bigger than comparable amount of yarn? So will that impact shipping costs or ecological impact? I can't answer to the question of the ecological impact, but the amount of yarn, I just talked about how much yarn is in each one. The amount of yarn in the blanket is the exact same as a ball of blanket. I have a ball of blanket. I just can't reach it over there. The amount of yarn in the Super Saver is the same as a ball of Super Saver of the stripes or the print. As far as the Big Donut, I don't have a Big Donut with me. Like this is Skinny Cakes, and this one is 8.8 ounces. And you guys heard me say that the Big Donut is 9.9 ounces. Is that what it was? I gotta go back and see. Yeah, 9.9 ounces. So I don't have a Big Donut like cake or anything like that, so I can't see how much yarn is there, but that's how that is. All right. Okay, guys. So let's watch this video. If you guys don't mind, let's take a peek at it. And then if you guys have questions on how it works, because in the video, I talk about how to snip it, how to separate the yarn, and do all that. So if you guys are good, all right, let me just turn this up. I'm going to come over here. There we go. And let me hit play. everybody, and welcome to the Marley Bird YouTube channel. If you are like just about every other knitter and crocheter in the world, you are wondering about the brand new Yarnspirations O'Go. This is a fun new way for you to get your yarn tangle free. All you're going to do is snip, pull, and stitch. Let me show you how this works. The Yarnspirations Caron Colorama comes in a very beautiful collection of 5 colors. When you get this yarn, you simply will open up your packaging, pop your packaging out. When you have the O'Go, you're going to carefully pull it apart and you're going to see a plastic section right here. You're going to snip this plastic, okay? This plastic is what's holding the donut together. Once you snip the plastic, you're going to pull that plastic out. Now, you have 2 choices. You can pull from the center of the O'Go or the outside. Here's a little tip. The O'Go was actually designed to be pulled from the outside. So even though you can pull from the inside, you want to locate your strand from the outside of the O'Go, and that's where you simply will start pulling your yarn and stitching. And you're going to see that you're going to have no tangles, no extra pulls, no knots in your yarn. It is just continuous free-flowing knitting or crocheting. How cool is that? It's really great for those beginners who finally get comfortable with the hook and the needles in their hand and holding their yarn in the other hand, but then they start knitting along and a knot happens in their yarn. They have to let go of everything and readjust. With the O'Go, you simply just pull the yarn right off of the donut and you don't have to worry about any stops or knots in your yarn. It is so convenient and fun. Yarnspirations is always trying to be innovative with everything they do. So this is not a brand new yarn, but it's a brand new way for you to get your yarn. This is going to go in there right next to those cakes that are available, to the balls that are available, to the skeins that are available, to the cones that are available. It's just another way for you to get that yarn and keep on stitching. Another great thing about the O'Go is that with the carefully curated colors, you can separate these colors out and use them individually. Let me show you. All you do is come up here and you pull the colors apart. And it's that easy. Come up here and pull the colors apart. Once they're all separated, you just snip them apart. You get this last one out here. So you can see right here where the colors connect, you snip it, that color is ready to go. Right here, the colors connect, snip it, that color is ready to go. This right here, let's find the end, snip it, that color's ready. This one right here, snip, that color's ready. This right here, snip, that color's ready. And I can add this one back over here. And look at that. I have a beautiful collection of 5 colors of yarn. Aren't these colors amazing? I think the Yarnspirations design team did an amazing job putting together these color collections in the Caron Colorama O'Go. But not only do we have the Caron Colorama, there's the Caron Big Donut, the Bernat Blanket, and the Red Heart Super Saver O'Go. These are some of our most popular yarns put together in this tangle-free, easy flow O'Go. You're going to absolutely love it. All right, now that you know how to use your O'Go, let's go ahead, grab that O'Go, and let's get going. All right. So what do you think? I mean, now that you've seen it in action, you saw how the colors come apart, you've seen all of the great color combinations in the different yarns. Can you see what I mean about this being a new way for you to get yarn? This isn't meant to be out there replacing your skein, replacing your ball, replacing your cake. It's just another way for you to get yarn. And it's a fun, interesting way. Somebody said over here earlier, let's see, it's Monique. Monique said, let me see here. She said, that looks great for beginners. One less thing for them to be concerned with. And I absolutely 100% agree with you, Monique. as a instructor who teaches a lot of beginners, this is one of those things that I can just take that off of their plate of having to worry with. The other thing is that putting together colors is actually a really hard thing to do. So the fact that these colors are already put together for you in such a way that you can keep them together or you could separate them apart and do color work, that's really fascinating. Fascinating. Did you guys see those projects at the end? Aren't those cool projects? I have them here if you want me to show you. Let's see here. You guys are saying, this is great. An interesting way to present new yarn. Carlene says, I won't have to worry about dropping my yarn on the floor when crocheting on the plane or in the car. I can wear it like a neck pillow. Oh my gosh. If you do that, I want to see. I want to see you wear it like a neck pillow. Nikki says, nice demonstration. It was cool to see how the colors nest inside of each other. I agree with you. That was one thing I didn't fully understand when I first saw the O'Go. I didn't see how that works. Now, as those colors are separated, technically they are still in the O'Go sort of wound up format. So you can still pull from the outside on those O'Gos as they are, because there's no longer an O, right? They're now individual colors, but you don't have to rewind those. They're already still like in a format that you can still pull from them. Now, I will be honest and say for myself, when they are separated like that, I found it easier to pull from the inside versus the outside. So just a little tip there. I know that the overall O'Go is meant to be pulled from the outside, but when I separated them into individual sections of color, I found it easier to pull from the inside on those individual sections. And then I had those divided up in little holders. So just because I did, you don't have to, you can have them just sitting on your table or wherever you are. But I had them divided up and put into little holders, just made it easier for me just because, you know, I like bags. And so if I can use a bag, any excuse to use a bag, I'm going to use a bag for sure. Let's see here. Let's see. Mickey says that video gives me more reason to try these. Well, that, you know, that, fantastic. Mickey, honestly, I just want you to try these if it's something that interests you. If it's something that you want to give a try, you like the colors, you like the yarn, then go give it a whirl. Go give it a whirl. Neck pillow. Somebody says a neck pillow. That's really great. Monique is saying, please show them. So this is one that's already opened up. So this one here, you can see down here is where the plastic was. And I snipped it and I pulled the plastic out. And then this is where I am pulling the yarn so that way I can knit with it. And it's just flowing naturally. And I don't have to worry about any tangles or knots. Okay. All right. So that's how that is, you guys. It's just a new innovative way, a new innovative product for you to get out there and be able to use up even more yarn, because we all love yarn, right? We love yarn. That's why we're here. We love yarn, whether we're knitting with it, crocheting with it, weaving with it, doing art with it. It's a fun tactile thing that I absolutely love to use. And hey, if people out there, like companies like Yarnspirations, are trying to find even more ways to take out any of the frustrations out of your whole process of working with yarn, fantastic. Let's give them a round of applause for even listening to us, because they don't have to, right? They could be like, look, we give you a cake, we give you a skein, we give you a ball, we even have hanks. We don't need to give you something else. But no, they were like, nah, they want this. People are saying they want this as an option. Let's figure out how to give it to them. And that's what they've done. They've done a fantastic job. Now, we've talked about the yarn. Let's talk a little bit about the designs, because I have 3 of the designs here. I can show you 3 of the designs, but here's the great thing. At Yarnspirations, they have an entire design team that designs all of their patterns. And this design team has just done such an excellent job putting together patterns for these O'Gos. And so I'm going to show you 3 of the patterns to start off here. Okay. And I only have knit patterns with me. I'm sorry. But this one here, this is a Fair Owl hat. And you might be thinking, well, how do we do Fair Owl when all of the colors are all together in one little thing, right, Marley? Well, I already showed you in that video how you separate the colors. When you separate the colors, you're able to use them so that way you can do Fair Owl. So you don't have to go out and buy 5 different balls of yarn. You can just buy one O'Go and get a really fantastic hat. This hat is made using one O'Go. Pretty cool, right? Okay, speaking of the solids, okay, here is a fun brioche cowl. It has a split side to it. but it's two-sided, right? You guys know brioche is reversible. So this is using one of the yarns in the multicolors, and the other is with the solid. It's with the biker jacket solid. So this is a great way that you can combine two of the yarns to get a really cool look also, right? Then this one, guys, here's the great thing. Like, I would have never thought about putting these colors together, but the way these colors are all put together with these products, it's amazing. Look how great this is. This is a garter stitch wrap and turn piece that is just fantastic. And it's just, I think there's 3 different colors of Ogos in this one, and it just comes together in a beautiful collection of colors. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So as you are looking at this and maybe you're like, yarn barf doesn't bother me too much, I don't worry about that stuff. Maybe it's the colors that are going to get you. Maybe it's like, all right, I like a size 5 weight yarn. I like that. I do too. I think it works up really fast, and it's nice to have that instant gratification. And you might think, wow, I like a 5 weight yarn and I want some color work, but I don't want to buy 5 different colors. Maybe this is the route you go. Maybe you get the Ogo and you get all of the yarn in one little Ogo, and you can use it that way. So there's lots of options out there for you. Now, yes, I just showed you some knitting options. I don't have any of the crochet ones here with me, but there are crochet patterns available as well. So don't think this is only for knitters. It's for knitters and crocheters, okay? For knitters and crocheters. That brioche is beautiful. I agree. It's absolutely stunning. Beth is asking, will this be on the website? I honestly don't know. I just know it's available at Joann right now. And I think, as I said, don't quote me, I think it's going to be available at Walmart also. As far as being available on the website, as soon as I know that, I will let you know. Because right now I just don't know. I just don't know. Mickey says, Marley made me do it. You know what? Great. If this works for you guys, I want you to go and give it a try. Get the colors, play around with it, have some fun. And as you are working on this project, I don't know if you guys have heard this a little bit, but we have a new hashtag with Yarnspirations. It's hashtag Yarnspo. So YARNSPO. And so we would love for you to share with us. We'd love to see you getting your Ogo. If you go to the store and you see it and you're holding them all up, like that would be a lot of fun to see. On my own, I plan on doing some various videos here on the Marley Bird YouTube channel to really gear towards some beginners, because I know that this will be a great yarn for beginners, especially as we've already talked about, being able to just let the yarn flow from the Ogo itself and create beautiful works. I almost said works of art, beautiful projects. And so I'm going to do some beginner patterns with this. This will be great for the Buy Crafty Bootcamp, which is for crocheters or it's actually knitters who want to learn to crochet. So it's Buy Crafty Bootcamp Crochet. You guys know I just did Buy Crafty Bootcamp for knitters, which is crochet it was teaching crocheters how to knit. Now we're teaching knitters how to crochet. So this would be a great thing for that also to play around with. We're just having a lot of fun with it. Cameron is saying, I am thinking about getting one. Well, that's fantastic. You know what? Give it a whirl. Maybe it's something you like. Maybe it's something you don't like. Maybe it's like, hey, that's really cool. That's really innovative. That's really fun. I love those colors. I'm going to get that yarn. Maybe it's really cool, really innovative, really fun, but you're like, I'll stick over here to my cake. Totally fine. It's just another option out there for you, right? And to me, it's really stinking great that there is a yarn company out there that is quite literally listening to all of us about the tangles in our yarn, the knots in our yarn, the easy flow of our yarn, the entire frustration of having yarn barf. It all goes away. It all goes away with the Ogo. It's pretty darn great. Do all of the colors unwind before the next color starts? Yes. So as you saw me in the video, as I took the colors apart, that full color, like let's say it was this blue here. If I took this blue off, I would have a point of contact essentially to this blue and this blue that I would have to snip. But you have to go through all of this blue before you get to this blue as you're working with it. So this, if I just followed this just as it is here on the Ogo, I would get a really nice color block scarf. So like, for example, right here, I started off with the gray color. and then it transitioned naturally to the blue where I am right now. And then it'll transition to that next blue once I've used up all of this blue. So that's how that is working up. And the same thing for the crochet piece. You can see I started off with this really pretty sort of raspberry color, and it went to this sort of plummy wine color. And then from here, it'll transition to the cream. And then from there, it'll transition to like the almond color. And so that's how it naturally transitions. So you really don't have to think about the color combinations you're putting together. It's already done for you. It's so great. Renee says, this is just great. I got to share this because this is great. You know, the company loves us because they listen. And that is so true. And that's a great place to end this entire live here. One thing that I can say about Yarnspirations, guys, because you know, I've worked with several different companies. And one thing about Yarnspirations is that they do care about you. And this is me taking off my ambassador hat. This is me not getting paid to say this. This is me talking to you, crafter to crafter, yarn company to, or not yarn company, yarn enthusiast to another yarn enthusiast. When I work with Yarnspirations, when they come to me and they ask me, you know, what do your knitters, what do your crocheters want? What do you think of this yarn? What do you think of these colors? What do you think of these patterns? What do you think would make things easier for knitters and crocheters? What do you think is something that they need as a tool? What is something you think that they would really like to see? Like, they really care about you guys in the sense they want to know. They want to make sure that they are providing you with everything you need to better your skills. That's one of the reasons why they hire people like me, like Mikey, like Sarah Zimmerman from Repeat Crafter Me, like Daisy Farm Crafts, like Moogly and others, so many more. They want to make sure that they're bringing people who understand the craft, understand the art to you to help you better understand how to be a better knitter, better crocheter, how to do their patterns, how to use their yarn. They are trying to bring everything together to help you, help us as a craft. They're a really caring, wonderful company, and I really enjoy working with them. And I am really excited to see that they really did listen. And I mean, for years, people have been talking about the frustration with yarn barf and tangles in their yarn. And here they are. They're like, hey, we're going to try and fix this. We're going to give people another option to make this happen. And so hence you have the O'Go. All right, so there you go. Donna says, I want chic sheep again. Me too, Donna. Someday. All right, so that's it for me, everybody. I think I've answered a lot of the questions here for you guys. If you have any more, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer as many as possible. If you do get some O'Go, don't forget to share with us on social media. Use hashtag Yarnspo or hashtag Marley Bird. Do I even have that up here? I don't even know if I do. I don't think I have it. I don't have it, but I will tell you this. Hey, check this out. Smash that like button and hit subscribe. So if you have not yet hit subscribe to the Marley Bird YouTube channel, please go ahead and do that. I hope this video was informative for all of you out there who are interested about O'Go. Maybe you've seen it on the shelves. Maybe you've seen some people talking about it here on YouTube. Well, now you know direct from the source, from the people who actually made the product. I know from the people who made the product, I'm able to tell you what's the story behind it. So there you have it. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'm Marley Bird. I will talk to you again very soon. Bye. Let me see if I can figure out how to end it. I never know how to end it. See you later.